Hey, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Brown Machismo Show. I am your host, Brown Machismo, aka the National Treasure, aka the award-winning son of a gun, aka Joe, in case you're one of my real-life friends and you don't know why people are calling me Brown all the time. They call me Brown because they don't feel like saying the entire Brown Machismo moniker name, which is understandable. It's kind of a mouthful, but so am I. But started off on a high note here, folks, with that really inappropriate joke. But I'm here live in Machismo studio apartment, and I'm very excited for tonight's episode. I'm always excited for doing one of these, but today's going to be a very special one because it's going to be a little intimidating because I have one of the more prominent members of the Discord that I'm a part of, the Overwatch Syndicate, and we have Jennarad herself, Jennarad. And yeah, she's supposed to be muted, but she couldn't bear hearing a compliment, so she had a little bit of a giggle. So now that the cat's out of the bag, we'll let Jenna introduce herself. Jenna, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me, Brown. I'm really excited. I've learned one thing today, and that is already. I should have learned more than one thing already today, but I've only learned one thing, and that is I should be pronouncing it Brown Machismo. Is that the? I've been saying Machismo like a fool this whole time, but
It's
it's okay.
Brown Machismo. How are you saying?
Machismo.
Machismo. Yeah.
Now I just feel silly. I just say Brown. I guess I never thought about it. And here I am having an existential crisis on this podcast.
It's
But it's great to be here, so I'm excited. We're gonna have fun.
yeah, this should be great. Um, Doing some last minute tweaking to make sure I have everything else set up. That's quality programming you get here at the Brown Machismo Show. You get me stalling, a lot of ums, and I started this annoying habit of doing whenever I start sentences now. And so, so
Hey, look,
this has always been a learning experience. So I
feel
do it live.
intimidated at all. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but you're very professional. I've already gotten my care package in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me everything I asked for. I got the check, and the check did clear,
Oh,
so
thank
that
God.
means I've been paid for this. I do appreciate that. I plan on buying myself some very fancy $10 bottle of wine with it, so I appreciate it.
Nothing but the best here from the Brown Machismo Show. You can't if you're buying a wine for more than $10, you are doing something wrong.
I endorse that. I endorse that.
So I guess we can really just start getting right into some of the questions we have here
Great.
because you got the most responses for
Hey,
questions. You were very popular here on the
going
Overwatch
right to
Syndicate.
my ego.
If anything, I'm really into blowing up people's egos. Like people should feel good about themselves, even if it's just for like 10 minutes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So there's no real order. I should have ordered. I didn't order the questions, and the biggest one is we'll go right for number one. Why you so good? So why are you so good, Jenna?
I guess it depends on, I'm really good at hitting left and right bumper when it comes to risky reses and popping between characters for healing effect. I will say that last night I was playing some Sombra while Coco was watching me,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Dang, Jenna, you're so good at Sombra." And let me just tell you, my face went right red. Like I was like, "That's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me." But with Coco, you can't say that because he'll take a note and bring it up later, as if
Mm-hmm.
like you owe him something. I mean, that was a total joke. But I think life is, besides the fact that I try to stay out of everyone else's way constantly 24/7, I've decided a long time ago that, don't sweat the small stuff. Otherwise you'll have like just mental breakdown on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
And so I think I still have my moments, you have to constantly remind yourself of your mental health
Mm-hmm.
and give yourself breaks and tell yourself it's okay to mess up and to not be perfect. And I mentioned this in the I think it was Hang in There, one of our Zenyatta corner in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one of the best things I ever did for my mental health is excuse myself to say I was wrong,
Hmm.
not take being wrong as a a personality flaw.
Wow.
That's a much more intense answer than that person probably wanted. But you know what? Where I come from, you fill.
Yeah, I'm glad you are here too. I'm glad your experience with trying to fill in time. But that was actually a really deep answer. That's
Yeah, I
very good.
mean, I tried to throw in a little Overwatch there. I know we didn't do much of an intro because I screwed it up, but I know that there might be some people from my job at SiriusXM who may be listening. So
Mhm.
shout out to like any of the Pooligans who are listening. But if you're a Pooligan listening and you listened to my podcast or my episode on the Pooligans podcast like 2 weeks ago, Brown is one of the key members of the Overwatch Syndicate Discord that I mentioned in that podcast and has been a huge factor as to why I'm still playing Overwatch. I definitely would not be playing anymore. And I laid all that out in the podcast. But if you're wondering why I'm here on a second podcast so close together, it's because Brown is such a great guy. And it's because this Discord has been such a positive in my life over the last like 6 months now,
Yeah.
over 6 months, I think. Yeah. So just that's a little background before we jump into any more questions. I don't want to let that go amiss.
Well, consider my ego feeling a little bit better because you are also someone who has become a big part of the group, and you are also one of the people who I always look forward to most playing with. Like whenever I peek into a group and I see you're in there with you and like Nova and Pun, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I guess I want to do and go play with those folks. They're always so nice.
As we went 8-2 in comp that one week, that
Oh,
one day,
we'll never do that
and then
ever
the next,
again.
yeah, then the next day we went 2-0, and we're like, you know what? We'll take a break.
Yeah, let's just let me play Symmetra and burn people with lasers and let you go around just doing EMP bombs on people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for those just joining us, I got a couple people in the chat saying they were late. Nova in particular. We have Jenna on the show tonight, and you are known, at least to me and everyone in the Discord, for being a really really good Mercy and a really good Sombra. And we were talking last night how you wanted to try and expand your character pool, which I respect.
Mm-hmm.
But that those two you have are like polar opposites. I want to say like one has to be like super aggressive and sneaky. The other one is like just a target for everybody. So how do you handle the two different play styles?
I've talked about this before on the other podcast that I did, and I hope I can
probably
flesh
should
it out.
listen to that one.
No, I hope I can flesh it out better this time. They are different. You know, obviously one's DPS and one's support, so that has like an inherent difference. But brain works, and you know, I've talked about this a lot in the Discord. You know, just living with attention deficit. I find that both of those characters require a very high level of situational awareness. And that has been the way that how attention deficit manifests itself in my brain. So I find that I actually respond really well to, like, you know, in when I'm playing Mercy, I have almost like a level of OCD with it that I can notice who's low on health and respond to that, you know, very quickly. And I'm very good at, you know, bouncing back and forth, which is also a good evasive tactic. And with Sombra, you know, you have to be aware of, you know, who's around you so you don't get detected. You have to be aware of who are the weak characters. You know, Zenyatta is like, you know, I don't know if I can say it when I play Sombra. So, and same with Widow a lot of times, unless it's like Hibachi playing, but that's just not fair regardless.
No.
So they both have like an element of situational awareness that I really like. And what I said about Sombra, what really drew me to her is just that her character is just so unique and so cool that I had to know how to play her because she is just such a cool character. I mean, she's just like everything I wish I could be. Like I wish I could shave one side of my head and be like, this is fine. I don't need my security blanket, you know? And
and of course you want to be Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, who among us hasn't? Look, I mean, she's very sassy and super cool. And, you know, I may have gotten a 1 on my AP Spanish test, but doesn't mean I can't hack them. I don't think I And when I play Sombra without you guys, active,
Mhm.
because you're like trying to tell them you have your EMP and you're like about to use it, and they might say understood, but I don't think they really understand.
Mhm.
But I have a. You guys saw when I bought my Sombra and my Mercy decal for my car. I
We
put
had debates about that. Yeah.
I put the Mercy on the left and the Sombra on the right because it's like angel and devil is kind of like the way I see it.
I can be your angle or your devil.
Exactly. I'm just a small town grill, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, they're very different, but Mercy, and when I play her, I feel very effective.
Mhm. Oh,
But
you're so good at keeping us all alive. And I know, like when we first started playing together, we hadn't really had the synergy yet, and you were just chasing me down. And you're like, "Get back here!" And I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta kill people." And I was already dead by the time you got there, and you res me, and then I would die again.
yeah. But when I get to play Sombra, I really enjoy popping off
Mm,
too. Like, there's nothing better than a Nova and Jenna EMP bomb
mm,
in my, and I don't get credit for that as Sombra. Maybe that's why I like it so much. I don't need to get credit to feel like I've contributed to the team.
mm.
So that's a long answer. The reality is, I just really think Sombra is a dope character. She's just so cool. She's way cooler than I'll ever be, and I'm okay with that.
That actually answered one of the questions we had up there was what makes you so appealing, and so you just went right for it. That's how you know you're a professional. I didn't even ask the
Yeah,
question like that. And you still nailed it.
anticipation.
Yeah, you would. It's your mercy picking and knowing that like Joe's going to say this. I better answer right now before he dies.
Yeah. I just, I'm just here to, to do voice lines. And I think Allie mentioned it yesterday in chat. She was like, you just like doing her voice lines. And it's like, well, you're not wrong.
Do you want to
You're
do
not
one for
wrong.
us right now?
But I don't want to.
Live on the
That's okay.
internet? Okay, that's fine.
Maybe I'm sure it'll probably come up casually and naturally later. One can only hope. But yeah.
So that's Sombra. That's your mercy. One of the questions here, we can kind of relate the two of these together. One of them is who is your like spirit? What character represents you the most?
Oh gosh. Oh.
Because you said that Sombra is someone who you wish you were, but who's someone that you kind of like? You know what? That feels more like me.
Maybe that's why I respond so well to Mercy and her kit.
Hmm?
Um, I consider myself a supportive person more than any, like, I can't relate to an emotional tank or anything like that.
Hmm.
Uh, that's tough because his characters, they're so specific.
You don't
Anyone
think
else
you're
get this question?
you don't think of yourself as like a giant gorilla or
Yeah,
a very large
I'm a
Russian
space
woman.
hamster. Look, I mean, maybe I'm like the hamster. This is tiny and adorable and lounges while it.
Just drops mines on people.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's hard to relate to any of them. Do you relate to them?
Um, I've always kind of related to Zenyatta a little bit. I
Yeah.
like to think of myself as trying to be as peaceful with things as I can,
Yeah.
and there's no character that really connects to me like my sense of humor, I guess. But Zenyatta's
Mm-hmm.
probably the closest thing I have to like someone who's like, you know what, that's kind of like because he was my original like main when I first got the game.
Oh,
I really was enjoy playing as him, and I really like his sense of like serenity because I've always kind of struggled with like trying to find spirituality in things, and
yeah.
his approach like Zen is just like I was really into Buddhism, Zen Buddhism for a very long time. Like I still have an
Really?
interest in that. Yeah, I love talking. I love learning about like the idea of like all of our suffering is because of our wants, and that's something
Like
I've always
former.
kind of I'm a recovering Catholic, so
Wow. I mean, you pivoted big
oh
time.
yeah, all about because Catholic guilt is the worst thing in the world. Then you try and
Yeah.
get more like peaceful with it, and you're like, no, I can come to terms with this. So Zenyatta was someone who I kind of like related to a lot at first.
I had no idea. That's so interesting.
Yeah, I always kind of hide my. Everyone kind of knows me as like a jokester. Like I like keeping everything really loose, but if you ever like, get a chance to like need like a deep conversation, like I'm always ready to throw down some philosophy and stuff and really talk
I
about a lot of stuff.
I don't think that's fair. I you're just as funny as I consider myself, but you're a great shot caller too when you get the chance. So you have very good leadership skills. I guess just one characteristic, but I am very interested to hear about your journey with spirituality. That's really interesting.
Like I said, I grew up Catholic. I did most of the seven sacraments. I did four of the seven. I want to say I didn't get married, and I haven't
Right.
died.
I haven't died
So
yet. Yeah.
five. So I think I got five of them. But no, I just like seeing how people were using it as an excuse to do things.
Right.
I never really vibed with me all that well. And then a friend of mine offered me a book. Strangely enough, it was The Idiot's Guide to Zen Buddhism. And I like devoured it. Like I finished it all. Like I learned about like dukkha, the five ways, everything about how all of our basically about like how our mind is kind of saying that like you need to have this stuff, and in reality like it doesn't really matter. And I got into like I went a little too far with it at a time where I thought everything was like a
Yeah.
nihilist, where everything like nothing matters. And then as I've gotten older, I've kind of just been like, you know what? I kind of like mishmashed everything. My entire life has been like just finding things I like and mashing everything together. Like
And that's good.
I've always considered myself like a human mixtape. I take things that I like and mash everything together. And Zen Buddhism for like a good like 5 years was something I was really into. But I have a friend who actually went to Korea and did one of those stay silent for like 5 days. And
What?
yeah, he got like all enlightened and everything.
You and I could not do
No,
that.
I can't be quiet for like 5 seconds. Are you
Yeah,
kidding
right.
me?
Totally.
I just remember being like a kid, and they tell you like you talk too much, and I was like,
Yeah.
God, I like talking a lot, and I don't think I've ever been
You and I are
diagnosed with
very
any kind of.
similar.
I
You
don't.
and I are very similar.
Oh, it's just natural to talk,
Yeah.
right?
I
When
mean, I got in trouble for talking all the time,
oh,
and
I remember
we're
one
on the
time in like
same page.
I remember one time in like I want to say like the fourth or fifth grade, I had a teacher threaten to. This is verbatim. She wanted to rip my tongue out and mail it home to my
Oh.
mom.
Oh.
But she was friends with my mom, so my mom wasn't concerned
Oh.
about it. But I remember, I want to say Mrs. Novak. I want to say that's her name. I don't know if that's 100% sure, but I used to talk
Time to
all the time in
dox
class.
everyone in chat. Time to dox.
I don't even know if she's with us anymore, if I'm being honest. I hope so. Oh, God. I got a little grim on that one.
Well, that means you got to start recording. You got to put a little recorder, in your jacket when you go to school.
I'm gonna. And that's just, like, I don't understand why people don't like small talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's me and you get it.
Oh, we're simpatico, you and I.
Yeah. All right.
It's a lot.
So, do you want to keep talking about Overwatch? We kind of got like we started off talking about like video games, and it turned to we started talking about existence, and then we talked about being threatened as a child. So this show is already off the rails.
Hitting all the cylinders there. I mean, just whatever. Are there things related to existence in the questions?
There's actually one that just says how. Okay, so we got why you so good, and another one too. This is one that I always find interesting. Is how do you? This is a question from the audience. How do you stay so upbeat all the time? Because your positivity is honestly inspiring.
Aw, that's so nice.
Which I generally agree with. You're very you're I don't want to say bubbly.
Right,
But you're,
yeah,
but
because I'm
you're
not 14 anymore.
no. I feel like that's not a compliment anymore. Like
Yeah, I'm a grown woman.
yeah, you're an
Allegedly.
adult.
I pay for my own health insurance. So,
Thanks, Obama.
yeah, exactly.
Literally. But yeah, but you've always been very like positive, and you're trying to like keep everything going. So how like does that relate to your supportness? Is that just like a trait you have? Like how do you just stay so positive?
I never really thought about it. I guess I had like a tiny train of thought here for a second, and
Okay.
now it's gone.
Oh.
I think it, I conflict makes me uncomfortable. So that's like always trying to avoid conflict. But it doesn't mean I don't have my moments. Here's where I'm back where I was trying to think. I think it plays into, my privilege growing up. I grew up, and I still consider myself growing up, but I grew up in an upper middle class, um, you know, suburban, or no, not even, I mean, yeah, like suburban. It's the capital. I grew up in the capital of Maryland, and I went to all private school. I went to private middle school and private high school. And I just have been very, very lucky and beyond financially lucky. My mom was with mental health her
Mm,
whole childhood, and my grandma wouldn't, do anything about it because, she wouldn't go out of her way, I guess, to help my mom.
mm,
And so because of that, my mom learned, you have to support mental health. So my mom was always very receptive to my mental health, never made me feel like if I wasn't happy all the time that I was broken or that I was a bad kid. I mean, and I got in trouble, like we were just saying, I got in trouble a lot because I had undiagnosed ADHD. So
mm,
I was a problem child, even though I was a good kid. Like I didn't really do anything wrong. But,
mm.
I got in trouble once because during a fire drill, I got up on a chair and like swung my pen around. It's just stupid things. I never punched anyone, but
Hmm.
your mom thinking, oh God, I need to like my kid, I need to medicate her. Instead, she, you know, and for my mental health. And because of that, I think I have a better understanding of my brain and like I know my triggers kind of a thing.
Mm.
And so that makes me more inclined, I think, to be able to present myself in a positive manner. And I do. I'm very, very lucky and I'm very, very happy. And I don't want to forget how lucky I am. So I try to remind myself every day.
Hmm.
I hate conflict. So, that's why sometimes comp can get a little difficult because I want people to see how well they're doing as opposed to all that, may have cost a tick,
Mm.
but who cares?
Hmm.
Play another one.
Yeah, I understand that. You always like to keep everyone kind of up, and I find it interesting that you're using your, I don't want to say like in real life experience for a game, but you kind of are. You're saying like, hey, this isn't worth this. Like everyone's fine. You're okay. You're still up ground. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, we're all
yeah.
honestly, and like this, I keep on referencing things I've already said, but I wouldn't be playing Overwatch if it weren't for all of you guys because I wouldn't be comfortable logging in and turning on my mic and going into comp and like wouldn't be able to do that.
Mm,
So I just feel so grateful full enough that we're all together, playing together, working together, strategizing together.
mm,
I'm grateful enough for that I don't it's difficult for me to get down or I don't have a particularly good game. Sure, I get frustrated, but you guys are also really good at building me up too. You guys sense when I get down and you're like, "Hey, no, you did great." Like, you know, double res, kind of a thing. So, we all feed off each other. So, maybe that's why maybe I realize that we all feed off each other. And so if I can do one little thing to keep us all on the up and up, why wouldn't I?
when you mention you're wanting to avoid conflict, that's something that like I really understand, and that's why I kind of use humor a lot to diffuse
Yeah, like a defense
situations.
mechanism.
It's not even a defense mechanism. It's more of like, I don't even want to say it's more of like just, hey, maybe I'll say something more so funny that everyone will forget that they're upset. Like whenever
Yeah.
like one thing I've started doing recently is when there was like a little bad vibe in the Discord, I don't know if you noticed, but I asked really ridiculous questions. Today's one was, do you ever use the lid of a pudding as a spoon,
Oh yeah.
and then it morphed into a debate about if sporks are satanic or not.
Wait, was that a diversion?
Yeah, if you read the history, the thread.
Oh my gosh,
Or,
I totally forgot what we were talking about when you diverted like that.
yeah, that's why. And the other day, the other one
Diversion by
yesterday too.
bird.
The other one was have you ever farted? Have you ever sneezed so hard you farted?
Oh, I missed that one. But who amongst us? Who has it?
My
It's a circle of life.
if Rebel's listening, hers was my favorite. She bent over to hug someone and she farted. Sorry, sorry for throwing you on the spot there, Rebel. You know we all love you.
It's impressive. I mean, terrifying, but impressive. And
Um,
I've hugged her.
oh yeah, you've met a couple
Yeah.
people in real life from the Discord.
Yeah, I met Rebel and I met Jay. So
Yeah.
Our
This is our legally required talking about Jay. Every stream I've
yes,
ever done,
yeah.
he always comes up because
Really?
he's such. Yeah, every stream I've ever done except for one, which I beta for by saying it twice. I missed him in the one. I think it was the one that I asked when I interviewed Dylan, aka
Uh,
Isupa. I didn't bring
yeah,
him
yeah,
up, but yeah, somehow he always comes up. He's just such a good dude.
yeah. Well, I mean, just to reset, so Brown and I are an Overwatch Discord or an Overwatch group
Mhm.
um, together called Overwatch Syndicate, and it's a purely positive playing experience. So we've all been together since I think I joined the Discord the the I was one of the very first ones.
Mhm.
So it's been I think like June or something like that. It's been
Yeah,
a really long time. We're all way too close. We should not be as close as
it's
we
really
are.
true.
Yeah. So we have also a Snapchat group because we're the only people still using Snapchat currently in this society.
I
Um,
I actually asked one of my college age students if Snapchat was still a thing, and they were like, "Not really." I was
no,
like,
no, it's
"Oh
not.
no, I'm
No.
officially." It's like when the old folks debated Facebook. Everyone's like, "We're out, abort, we're out."
Yep.
So it's
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
cool
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah. So in our Snapchat group, I was visiting my sister who lives in St. Louis, and Jay driving from Philadelphia to California to his new job, and he's going to live there. And just some background on Jay and I, we call ourselves the twins of the Discord because our hero pool in Overwatch is almost the
Oh,
same.
it's
Like
identical.
yeah, and it gets weird, and like we have very every so often we'll have like the weirdest thing in common. It's like okay, so like when I he's good at so we decided like so the four heroes we're good at are Orisa,
Mhm.
Moira, Mercy, and Sombra. And when I started playing Sombra, I had no idea, but he had just decided to learn how to play Sombra as well. Whatever. So we figured out that I'm better at Sombra and Mercy, and he's better at Orisa and Moira. But that's what he told me, so I just let it slide.
Mhm.
I was like, sure, you're better at me. Anyway, so in the Snapchat group, he while he's driving all the way to from Pennsylvania to California, he posts a snap of the St. Louis Arch. And I was thinking, oh, he's probably just driving through. That's so weird. So I took a Snapchat of myself. I'm like watching a horrible, horrible Hallmark movie with my sister on Netflix. I was like, we could have gotten a beer. And he's like, what the heck? We're staying here tonight. So I took my sister's car. I put my location settings on so my sister knew where I was.
That's just good, just in case.
And yeah, and then I drove to where a bar that Jay and his buddy were at and more things that we have freakishly in common. But
Just
yeah,
have
he's a great guy.
just have me in the same state, which is insane.
Yeah, in the same city. Yeah. And he had no idea. I didn't know I didn't have his itinerary either,
Mhm.
but he told me they almost didn't go through St. Louis.
That's
They were
fair.
thinking about going through Nashville and then they decided to change things up and go through St. Louis. I don't know why you would do that. It's like and nothing other than St. Louis, but
Yeah.
that's on him.
So we actually have a question from the live chat, which kind of relates to a question I had also in my uh, list of questions regarding the Discord. So the question from Suspiria Zero is, how did the Discord get started? And the question that I have from the audience pool is, how did you find the Discord? So for those who don't know, the Overwatch Syndicate was actually like kind of a reboot of the original server that we all met on through Reddit. That was called O Positive. So how did you find the group?
Honestly, it's like a total blur. I just remember getting like a message on um I guess someone had seen that I had just joined the Overwatch like girl gamer channel or subreddit,
Mm.
and I got a message, and I had never joined Discord before, but I wanted to try it out. So I downloaded Discord just to join, this Overwatch Discord that I'd gotten a random message for. I mean, as sketchy as that sounds, I'm sure I was a little tipsy or something.
You were under the influence and joined it by accident, and it turns out it was the best decision.
It was definitely something I had been looking for because, like I said, I was almost out the door when it came to this game
Yeah.
entirely because of the just I couldn't get any farther in the game without communicating with people, and that was always going to be it was always going to have conflict as a woman. So lucky.
Mm-hmm. So you got it through Reddit.
Yeah, I just got a message, and I've looked through my messages trying to find it because I'm like, did I hallucinate that? Like, surely it happened because I remember being really late, and I don't know. It's very loose in my memory. It was just a random message. How did you find it?
Oh, I was on Overwatch console, the subreddit, and somebody posted a thing and said, "Hey, do you want to look for people who are slightly older and who are like adults and don't want to play with like kids and they just want to play with each other?" And I was like, "All right, I'll send a little message." I was like I think the post was like a couple days old and no one had responded. Like some people had responded, and then I luckily got through and I joined. And I was like, "Hey guys, I'm Joe, aka Machismo. I had this game. It's fun. I'm old. I'm looking for other old people to play with." And then it kind of just started from there. So it was really just a Reddit post saying, "Hey, do you want to not be yelled at by 13-year-olds? Come join us adults. We have life. We have lives. We work from 9 to 5, and we just want to have someone to play with." And that's kind of I think when you first joined, I was there for like a day, and I think you might have been in the group when I got screened to play, and then I think you may have joined a couple days later, and that's how I started knowing you. You were like one of the first people I ever played with from the Discord, which is cool.
I mean, that sounds right. Honestly, I mean, other than like Raging, name is just one of the ones that I remember them like for the longest. I guess Rad too, maybe. Because this was only 6 months ago, and I'm acting like this was freaking 3 years ago. Like, I'm telling the story. I don't remember. It does seem like a blur since then.
Suspirious says, in parentheses, "I'm old," not parentheses, quotes, "I'm old. I'm gonna cry now. I'm an old man. I'm in my early 30s."
He's older than most of us.
Oh, that's fine. You're an elder. I respect you.
Yeah, I'm 26.
Is he one of your work buddies from the what'd you call it, the Pooligans?
Oh yeah, so one of the shows on our channel is called The Press Pool with Julie Mason, and she has just a really awesome group of listeners who've built this whole community off being just fans of Julie and listening to Julie, and they're all they're like us. They're almost exactly like us, where they like met each other. And so one of them, D-Twit, who I'm assuming is Suspiria, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming, created a podcast called Pooligans, and he does it all just like you do it. He has people who are Pooligans, they call themselves Pooligans or Press Pool fans, and they come on and they talk about the show and how they found the show and what they like about it. And it's just like our community, but over a radio show.
No, that's cool. No, I was more of like, Pooligans is a great name.
Yeah. No, they did a good job.
That's an awesome name. I love it. So, all right. So we've talked about Overwatch for a while, and I kind of want to move away a little bit from it if you don't mind, but we have one final one that I think is very good. Actually two, because one, the second one relates to just sports in general. But do you have a favorite Overwatch moment? Either something you've done or you've watched, like, because I know you're starting getting into streamers watching like It's Fitzy. Do you have a favorite memory of like of anything?
I think we all know what the answer to this question is.
Play the game.
Let us not forget when Travis thought he got play of the game, and he didn't because your girl hacked the play of the game and stole it from him. So we will never forget, ever, that I did that. That was great.
It's forever on Twitch if I remember to download it.
Look, I mean, every time you get play of the game with Sombra, it's like it's a blessing.
And you got the cool one too, because it was the one that like you hack into his intro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best one. That's the best intro in the game. Let's be honest.
It's a journey every single time you get it.
All right.
That was the best. And then whatever the first time we got a quadruple kill off a Nova
Mm.
EMP bomb.
Oh yeah, those are always very very good.
Yeah, always.
All right, so one final question for Overwatch in the just for the moment. We say there's some
Sure.
other really good ones in here. So now that DC has an Overwatch team, the
Hmm.
Washington Justice, how
Hey,
excited are you for having a team to follow?
I'm I'm way too excited. I bought I you know we James and I spent like $60 on the team shop when it opened up. Obviously, the clothes they sent were made of like plastic. They whatever. But and then they just announced. Oh, and I bought the because it was $15. So it's like you can't afford not to buy that. So I have three DC Overwatch skins, and they haven't even played a single round yet. So, and then today they sent out they're having a watch party for the first game, which is on the 16th for DC Overwatch. So I just after this delightful stream's over, I'm gonna see if James wants to go with me, and we'll get tickets to go.
Nice.
So I always wanted to watch Overwatch League, but it's hard to follow when you're not super invested.
Mhm.
I have a reason to be. So
I was talking to Ali and Jolly last night about the Overwatch League. We were talking about esports and how
mhm.
we're both traditional like sports fans, and so seeing
Yeah.
esports, it's like a new thing to us. And the only reason why I love Overwatch League is because there's a team from Philly. If I'm being honest, I don't watch
Same.
any. I don't watch any other games. Like I don't know who half the players are. If we've played them, I know them. But there's teams I've never heard of before, and I'm like, you're from Philly, so I'm gonna be a fan of you. So for Christmas
That's
this year,
exactly how I am.
yeah,
100%.
it's like I love the game. I'm not gonna go out. I'm not a big streamer to watch, but you're from Philly. Even though you're a tiny little Korean man or a very
Yeah.
large man
And
from
you live in
Finland,
LA.
yeah, and you're out in LA and you went to Philly once, and what's so the
Pick up
Philadelphia
your check.
the Philadelphia Fusion are owned by the guys that own the Flyers, so they
Mhm.
make their players every once in a while wear like an Overwatch hat. So one of my favorite players, Sean Couturier, they did an interview with him and he was wearing a Fusion hat, and then
Oh.
and then they
Oh.
and then they came to Philly to watch the Phillies game, and it was just them on their phone looking so bored. And
Yep.
they did an
Yeah.
intro like,
Like they always
"Welcome."
do.
Dan Baker did an announcement. He was like, "Welcome to the Philadelphia Fusion." And like no one knew who they were. They were just like these nerdy dudes in Phillies hats.
Yeah.
And they all left by like the third because they wanted to go play Overwatch. They,
Those
they
are
did it. They did it. They
kids.
did it. Yeah, they're all like in their early 20s. I think Fraggy's like
Children.
a little bit older. But they went to
Yeah.
like they went
Yeah.
to
With
the
that beard.
Sixers games. They went to like the Phillies games. They had this real big celebration at the Comcast. Oh shoot, what's the thing called? Xfinity Live. Because Comcast owns them, and they had a big party there. They had a LAN party with everyone there. And Nerd Street Gamers, if you guys are listening, I love you. Nerd Street Gamers had like a little like hometown thing where they got players from the area to go and play against them or play with them. So that was kind of cool. But I didn't get a chance to go to any of the live events, but I would like to. But none of my friends are into Overwatch. The only
Look,
reason,
I
like,
mean,
nobody,
yeah.
nobody that I know would go with me to watch
The
a game. I'm like,
watching it live at BlizzCon was just unreal. I couldn't, it's very much like going to a live
yeah.
regular sporting event and cheering it on because it's just awesome to be around people who also know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when
You don't,
when
there's not very many people.
when the Fusion went to the finals, I treated it like a football game. I got my traditional cheesesteak from
Yeah.
my place down the street. I got my traditional Pennsylvania iced tea. Stream is brought to you by Turkey Hill Diet Iced Tea. Taste the thunder. I got a case of that. I sat there and watched it. I had it on the big screen. I normally watch the games like on my laptop, and I have stuff in the background like while I kind of like pay attention to the game.
Yeah.
But like on my laptop, like I'll play the game and on my big screen. But I had the big screen up. I sat there. I invited people over. Like I was like, "Hey guys, want to come over and watch video games?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll just watch by myself
Aw.
then." And then they lost,
Yeah.
and I got really sad. I was like, "Yeah, that's the team from Philly. They lost."
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So this is exciting. You have a team in there. I think we're in the same division. So maybe we'll do like a friendly bet or something. Like
I'd be down for that.
like we change like our Discord nickname or something like that. Or we change like our gamer tag for like a week or
I'm
something.
super down for it. I mean, everyone loves to like, everyone's super into saying how bad the Justice are going to be.
Huh?
And I've said this 1,000 times. I really don't care if they're awful. Like they can Shanghai Dragons it and not win a single game. And I'm still going to be like cheering them on because, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice to be involved.
Oh, when I first saw the Fusion play, my brain couldn't comprehend what they were doing. Like I thought, whenever I play, I feel like everything is in slow motion when they're doing things at like this incredible speed. I had no idea what was going on, and they stunk for like, the longest time. And then they did a surprise run to the finals.
Yeah,
They walked out to the Eagles fight song. They their YouTube team should get a lot of credit because they did some amazing hype videos. Like when they
some of that stuff is amazing.
Oh, when they played Boston, they were like, this is Philadelphia versus Boston. This is a rivalry in real life too. And then when they play New York, I'm like, we hate New York. So
Get on board.
So they walked out to Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares. No, or I think it was I probably messed that name up. They walked out to the song that the Eagles won the Super Bowl to. And I was like, I'm so hyped right now, and they lost. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Feels right.
It's still awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Okay, so that's a lot of the Overwatch questions. There's some interesting real life ones. You mentioned your hooligan friends.
Yeah.
How did you get started in working in radio broadcast?
So I majored in broadcast journalism in college at the University of Maryland, and
Turtles.
I've always been, go Turtles. So I've always had like an interest in just growing up in politics.
Mhm.
Sure that I necessarily wanted to do that as a career, but so I interned at C-SPAN first, and I was like, you know what, I'm really good at politics. I retain this information really well.
Mhm.
And then after that internship ended, I actually got an internship at my current job, and I went from intern to part-time to full-time. So I just got really lucky because, just I wanted to do radio,
Mhm.
and I got so lucky that I got my job because my job is great radio and great politics at the same time. Well, nonpartisan politics. I couldn't do it if it was like, and that would drive me crazy.
Mhm.
Um, Radio, I think, is just better. I did a part-time job in TV, in local TV for a little while, for like, I'm sorry, 3 days. And it's just soul sucking.
Yeah.
It's just not fun. So not like national politics has those days that are soul sucking, but I just find radio to be such a better medium. And I think a lot of millennials feel that way because that's why we're all so into podcasts, right? That's why we're here right now. So
when I was in undergrad, I went to Millersville, out in the middle of Pennsylvania, and I had a radio show there. So I at 1 to 3 in the morning on Thursday mornings, you could hear me and my buddy Mason. We were the Playmakers. We were the only talk show on their radio station, WIQX. So it would just be us sitting in this little dingy studio, just hopped up on caffeine, talking about football because he was from Baltimore and I'm from Philly, and we're just all talking about sports for 2.5 hours.
That's
and
awesome.
I did the TV show. I did our radio station, and I was terrible. I did we had a couple of like sports talk shows, and I did the sports there. And I remember like being in the suit and like having to read the teleprompter. I'm like, this sucks. Like I don't like being told what to say. And then when we did the radio, I could kind of like be more of myself.
That's exactly how it is. Yeah.
But I didn't stick with it, which was a shame because everyone always talks about how I'm very good at this kind of stuff, and this is something I just do for funsies, and like it's a dream that I've always had to do, but it was something I never really followed through with it. And so I think that's really cool that you do.
It's not too late,
Hey, if any of your Pooligan friends are listening and wanna have this voice on national radio, feel free to slide into those DMs.
Tim's always looking for part-time associate producers on the sports channels. We've got like a bajillion sports channels.
And thank you. I want to say Suspiria Zero. they just subbed with a Twitch Prime subscription, so I really appreciate
Oh,
it. That's
nice.
awesome. Thank
Way to
you.
go, D-Twit. That was so nice.
Yeah, thank you. So you brought up
Pathetic.
you mentioned in your answer that you said like it would drive me like it sucks your soul or it drives you nuts. And Supa actually has a question about that where he asks, how do you stay sane in your work environment?
Well, truthfully, you have to just check yourself. You have to be like yourself that you're okay, and whether it's like a technical thing or just waiting for a pool spray that's like 2 hours late, um, or if it's something that you don't agree with politically, you just have to check yourself and be like, everything's okay. This doesn't mean that everything's over. Otherwise, it just gets to your head. And I mean, that happened to me on election night
Hmm.
because I thought I knew something. I thought I knew what was going to happen, like a lot of people did, and so it caught me off guard, and that passed, to put it nicely. But so I learned that the hard way, I guess, that you just have to separate yourself from it, otherwise it'll drive you insane.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
Plain.
it's you don't take your work home. You don't take home to work. Like that level of professionalism really helps a lot too. And
Yeah.
because you do the like you say your interest in politics has actually been really helpful because I've always had interest in politics, and you have on this Discord you have your own separate your little separate
I love.
subreddit, I guess is the best way to phrase it, like a little group where it's basically just me and you, and every once in a while like Supa and Bird will pop in with with stuff about politics.
Bird's really good at it.
Yeah, but your nasty news corner.
Yeah. I mean,
Where,
that's nice too because it's nice for me to like share
hmm?
what's going on with a group of people really fast so I can talk about it or I think you have to complain every once in a while just to release the tension. And that
Hmm.
doesn't mean you're being partisan. It doesn't mean that you're going to be biased in your reporting or in your booking. It just means like you're maintaining your sanity and your individuality. And there's nothing wrong with that.
If you ever meet AOC, tell her I say hi.
Okay.
It's like, hey,
So,
hey, AOC, like there's this guy in the suburbs who thinks you're great.
yeah, I produce a show on the weekends called The Trend Line, and the host of that show is trying to get every millennial member of Congress on the show. So every week I try to book at least one for her to have on the program.
Huh?
And AOC is on that list, so I'm gonna have to get her eventually. We'll see.
I bet she plays Junkrat. I
She's
bet
never
she'd be
played a
really
video
good.
game in her life. There's no way.
No, she was on a stream a couple days ago, and she's talking about how much she loved the Nintendo 64.
Oh, I could have guessed that, yeah.
There was a guy doing a stream trying to raise money for transgender people, and she popped on, and like his donations like spiked. He was doing a
Ow.
complete speed run of Donkey Kong for the 64, and she hopped on and she's like, "Hey, like I've never owned a system, but I really love 64." And so she's a true millennial. But for
Well,
those who
she's
don't
the
know,
queen of live streams,
yeah,
too.
she's great. I just think she's very interesting. But millennial is anyone under the age of 40, so hopefully it's gonna be a lot
Yeah.
more than there are right now. Because everyone always like millennials think they're like the teens, and it's like no, we're the adults. We're out there. You don't have to be so judgmental of us all the time.
Oh, Leo. If only that were true.
Yeah.
Killing everything.
Okay. So Jay asks, what's it like being a high-powered media executive?
He's referencing the booking skills. Look, I mean, there's a level of fun with it, There's nothing like, booking a high profile guest and being like, "What? I feel so awesome." And then, those are the highs, and then there are times when you like have someone cancel on you last minute and you have to fill 20 minutes of a show and you're like, I don't know what to tell my host what to do. And so two backup plans at any given time because chances are your host is going to hate your first backup plan. So
I hope Tori's
there's like a
taking notes
level.
because she's my producer, even though she's not here.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was a producer, right? Once, so
No,
she gets it.
yeah, she understands it.
A lot of emails and a lot of waiting around for emails. And then It's you gotta take it each day, each booking at a time. You have to celebrate when you have a really good show, but then reminder there's tomorrow's, so get booking for the next day, kind of a thing.
Ah, you were a big grab. You're the most high profile grab I've ever gotten. I booked you all myself.
Hey,
It was actually you asking, "Hey, can I be on your show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
well, I'm glad to do it. I
Yeah,
mean, you and I are so close, so makes sense, right?
yeah. I've
We don't
gotten.
play very,
Hmm?
but that's okay.
I'm sorry, pun distracted me because he just he just gave me a new subscription, so I got 2 today. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Hey.
Yeah. So pun gave me with the see. This is the see. Like I said, you're the most high, I guess, high profile guest I've ever gotten because he said this is the episode he's wanted to listen to the most.
Oh,
So
that's nice. Hey, look, I mean, once again, the check cleared, sailed right through. I got the care package. I asked for
Machismo
some
Studios got you the hookup.
I asked for some very specific things. He met my demands, so
You
I
asked for only yellow starbursts for some reason, which I thought was kind of gross, but I got you them. I got you the only yellows.
I like to warm them in my hands first before I eat them.
I like to mold them into a gigantic ball and just chew into it like an apple.
Sure, I'd do that. Sure. I mean, I will do that with all my yellow starbursts.
So we've gone over how dope you are.
How dope I is.
I do. You is dope. One dope queen.
Just one.
But what is something you talked about in your work, where you've grown up, what you do? But what's something that you don't talk about? What's something you're proud of that no one's ever really kind of asked you for?
That's tough because I feel like I'm the oversharer of the group. I tell you guys like what's happening almost all the time.
I mean, if, I don't think I
um,
don't want to take away that title, but have you seen Ben in the morning? He he's 26% more of Ben, which is ironic because there's 26 less percent of him after his
yeah, yeah,
surgery.
yeah. There's like he's active in like four of the chats in the morning. Yeah,
What a
that's
good
true.
dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I'm so glad he's more active. Discord.
Yeah, but what's
'Cause,
something that like you want to share that you don't think you've shared?
Um, this is you're putting me on this. I really feel like I'm a really open book. Truthfully, and that might be bad. Uh, I sometimes I have full intention of playing a different game at night, but then I see who's on Overwatch, and so I have to not play that game. So that is like a moral issue I run into like 3 times a week.
That's why I've
Does that
played maybe
count?
20 minutes of Kingdom Hearts because I'm like, I'd rather talk to people and try and figure out how to play this game.
That I've been playing, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you
I
play
still
Red
haven't
Dead.
finished Red Dead,
Yeah, I've
so
seen you playing it.
I
How
have to be like, no, you're playing Red Dead.
how far are you
You
into that, by the
don't.
way?
I like the side missions in that game a lot.
Mm.
So I just got off the island of Guarma.
Oh man, you're like halfway through it.
Only halfway through?
Yeah,
Holy shnikes.
yeah. That's a
Finish
long
that.
game.
Yeah, it's
You're
super
all
long.
right, boy.
That's my boy. But
You're
I
all
like the
right, boy.
were my favorite part of the first Red Dead, so I have to do them all in this one too. A lot of poker.
Oh, I didn't do any of those. I went right. I plowed through the game. I played maybe like 20 minutes of the poker side missions. I played like maybe a couple of the. I haven't even done any of the bounties. I went right through just the story. I need to
My
get back
God,
into
you're
the room.
psychotic. You're
Uh,
chaotic good.
I needed
Right
to
down the
find out what
middle.
happened to Arthur Morgan. He's such a good character.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Okay.
James finished it, so I have like an idea of what happened. But yeah,
Yeah, it's I. So I agree with that. I see people online. I'm like, I really want to play this, but I also want to talk to my friends. But I
yeah.
also
I'd
want
love
to
to play
play
more Stardew
this.
Valley, but I'm not gonna not hang out with you guys to play Stardew Valley of all things.
I have Stardew Valley, and another game I played like maybe 20 minutes of. I'm like, I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am.
I didn't find it relaxing. It's a game about relaxing on a farm. Like I'm so stressed.
That music.
Oh, it is very 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 soothing, but it's just not my speed. It's
I
not
like
my
Stardew. It's hard for me to say no to a group activity
yeah.
to
FOMO.
play Stardew by myself.
So we obviously talking about you how much you play Overwatch now, and you mentioned your Stardew Valley and your Red Dead. How did you get into like video games? Did you start off when you were younger? Is this like a more recent habit? Like what got you into video games?
I always I really wanted to play video games growing up. I was really into G4, which I'm not sure is still a channel on
Oh,
television.
G4. Oh, my boy Adam
Yeah.
Sessler, my girl Morgan Webb.
Morgan and Adam
Oh
were my
yeah.
babysitters sometimes. And I would watch the show and I'd be like, that looks so cool. But I didn't have a single console. So I'd just be like, someday, like I'll play the games they're reviewing, you know.
Mhm.
When I was like 12, I got a GameCube, which was on its way out
Yeah.
at that time. And then I got a job and saved up and bought a 360 off Amazon, which immediately red ringed, you know.
Those are known to
Parents,
do.
yeah, my parents took sympathy on me and bought me one. And then I think it really just was X Play. And then really, I was just drawn to it
Mhm.
immediately.
Oh, X Play was a great
And
show.
not,
Drunk Link, Screaming
it came from Xbox.
Intern.
It came from Xbox Live.
Yeah. Oh, that show was
Or
so
like
good.
with Tom Clancy, like the spies or whatever. And
Oh, the two spies from. Oh man. Oh god, what are they called?
I
I
can't
know
remember now.
it's Bob and something. They were from
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Splinter Cell.
Yourself.
Yeah. You had Drunk Link. You had Screaming Intern. You had the Yu-Gi-Oh gang. You had Shad Grimgravy, which is how I got my gamer tag. Um, God, G4. The Tech TV G4. That was so good. Classic G.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
find.
before it became purely cops.
Yeah. What's it now? Like Splake or something? I don't remember what it turned into.
No, I think it's actually I don't know. I don't have cable. Well, I'm a millennial. I don't have cable.
I know. They're all on YouTube. Somebody's uploaded like all the episodes. And every once in a while, I just find myself watching like reviews of like Drake of the 99 Dragons, where does Adam
Yeah.
Sessler lose his mind for like 10 minutes. I give
That
this
sounds
game
so
a
peaceful.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
God, I love that show.
Oh, it takes me back.
So you got it. What was your first Xbox 360 game then?
Oh, well, I can tell you my first GameCube game was Resident Evil.
Oh boy, what a beginner game.
Which Resident Evil is that with like, hold on, I'm gonna sound so, I've only played one.
That's fine.
So,
I've never played any of them, so you know more than I have.
let's see. Let me just Google it really
Is it the
fast.
one? Is it the one over your shoulder?
Yeah, it's got like Leon. Oh, it's
Oh,
four.
4, yeah. The one with where you had the boy band haircut, like you look like Nick
Yeah,
Carter.
and the president's daughter.
Yeah,
So
and she sucked because you had to protect her, and she kept getting killed.
get past like the chainsaw
Yeah,
village guy. So that was my first legit game, like that wasn't um Animal Crossing.
that's a legit
Then
game.
yeah, yeah. Like a game you had to be focused in on and not die from guys with chainsaws. That's what I mean. I think my first 360 game was just whatever the Call of Duty was.
Oh, the one that like launched with it, like called like Call of Duty 2.
Not launched with it because I definitely didn't get it when it launched.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it probably was Modern Warfare 2 or something like that. And then I distinctly remember playing a lot of Fable. I really loved
Oh,
Fable.
Fable was great.
Great game. I still have I mean, I've played Fable 3 like so many times.
Mm.
Such a good game.
The Fable series was one that I was always really into. I like Peter Molyneux, but he never really followed through with any of his games. Fable 1 was great, 2 was good. I remember playing 3, and like I even got like when they rebooted it, because I had an original Xbox and they rebooted it for the 360. And I even got it when it came out. I think it came on Xbox One, the new generation. And I really always liked Fable. So Fable's a great series.
Well, that was a game that I'd seen on XPlay.
Mhm.
Now that I have it, I should get it. So, I mean, Fable 3 is such a good game. You can't beat it.
The Game Pass that they have, I think one is on there. I don't know if 2 and 3 are, but they're usually on sale. But I never would have pictured you as a Fable person. I didn't see you as an RPG gal.
It's a good story and like relationships and stuff like that. I just really like that aspect of it.
And it's also interesting because most people's first console, like Lisa, who I know, is a Sony product. Have you ever played like a PlayStation? You ever have a PlayStation 2?
No, like my extent of playing on PlayStation was I had a babysitter who had Spyro on PlayStation, so that was freaking awesome, you know.
That's also just been relaunched in HD. You should get that too.
Yeah, I've thought about it. My sister used to skip through the dragon speeches when you unfreeze them, and I'd be pissed off every single time. Like, I want to hear them, Kellen. No.
I have that currently in my Xbox. I was playing it the other day because I never played that growing up. I just never had interest in it. But I just can't believe your first game, I'm air quoting again. I don't know why I'm doing visual gags on an all audio podcast, but your first game was Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
I guess you just take this is when the GameCube was, my parents got it for me when it was on its way out. Yeah. Like there wasn't much to play. So in my defense, it was just like, oh, well, this game, I saw this on X Play, like who knows how I got my hands on it, truthfully. But it took me forever to finish it because I was terrified the whole time.
Have you ever tweeted Adam Sessler saying thank you for getting me into games?
No, but I mean
you should.
Yeah, actually I really liked Attack of the Show too for a while.
Oh, with Kevin Pereira?
I really liked it until they ruined it with Olivia Munn, but we can't get into that because it's gonna throw me on a rant. But
a rant about Olivia Munn?
Yeah, well, she wrote the show, but regardless, so after that show ended, finally, thank God, put out its misery, he did a very limited game show. It only aired in like a couple, and I heard about it, and he was coming to like Montgomery County State Fair, which was literally an hour and a half from my house. So, but I needed to meet him, So I packed up like me and 4 of my friends in my Toyota Corolla, and I drove us all the way out to this. Literally, it was like a place where you buy pigs. Like it was a legit farm. Like, why the hell was he there? And I paid I had to pay to get in, and I paid for my friends to get in. And I got to meet Kevin Pereira, and I didn't have anything for him to sign, so I had him sign my copy of Skyrim, which I still have. And took like a prom picture with him because I think he was just shocked that someone like drove all the way out.
That's incredible.
To like literally a pig farm to meet him. And he was like, "Well, you're here. You might as well try out for the game show." So I I tried out for the game show, and I was on his game show. Of course, I couldn't watch it when it finally aired because I was in Mississippi, so there weren't any states that I could pick. It was such a select city show. So I had to watch it through Skype. My parents were watching it back home. So yeah.
I have never heard anyone so excited about Kevin Pereira.
I know, and now James and I were talking about this like last night or 2 nights ago about how his stock has plummeted so far. But I really, really liked, because he was, I'm not saying he's nowhere near the level of Adam Sessler, but he was, kept my interest in gaming even when I couldn't game. Like I was watching them review games that I was never going to play. So, it's worth it in that sense. He was a good sport about it.
Do you sell the photo?
I mean, it's on Facebook. I can post it in the Discord later, but yeah, okay. I have tons of them.
Oh man, I want to see this, and I want to see the autographed copy of Skyrim by Kevin Pereira. I want to be able to see that. And I also want to thank our friend Nova, who subscribed with a Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, Nova.
Look at you, moneybags.
I'm racking in the subs and dubs today. And all thanks to Adam Sessler and
my
Morgan,
Olivia Munn rant.
You actually got a request for the Olivia Munn rant. I'm not going to ask you to do it, but if you want to do like a little synopsis of why you don't like Olivia Munn, feel free.
I just think that the girl who was, I don't know her name, the girl who was on the show with Kevin Pereira, she went and she was like, level 3000 IQ, move here. She went, I don't know if she got kicked out, but she went from Attack of the Show to being a girl on Deal or No Deal. So they replaced her with Olivia Munn, who has like, she calls herself a nerd or whatever. Oh, her name was Kristen Holt. That does sound familiar.
Kristen
Thanks.
Holt was the host of Cheaters too.
Oh, was it really her? Okay, well, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Olivia Munn, whom I felt, she may be like a self-proclaimed nerd, but she didn't offer any like gaming insight. And I'm not like sexually attracted to Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn's not making me tune in, but they turned her into like, they put her in a Leia slave costume and stuff like that. And
yeah,
she was clearly just meat to like bring in male viewers. And I just like G4 was my place. Mm-hmm. Like my first taste of like gaming being tainted by being a woman and like boob streamers in a sense. And I don't hold anything. I don't like Olivia Munn because of that. But it's not her fault they sold her like that. But at the same time, it my perspective on the show and the channel, as dramatic as that sounds,
like the authenticity of it. You didn't feel like it was a real thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because who was the other? Who's like, she's so smart. She belongs there. I don't know Olivia Munn's credentials prior to X-Men. But
all I know is that Aaron Rodgers and her broke up.
Yeah.
Right?
So
I think.
They dated for like forever, but you just can't. When you have like Morgan Webb on a channel, up with Morgan or Olivia Munn, who's just like no offense, but she just. I just didn't like it.
So I guess this is coming from like a dude perspective, but as awful as this may sound, I don't actually genuinely mean it. I never, growing up especially, I never associated like video games and women and girls, right? Like you don't expect that. So like when I saw Morgan Webb, I'm like, oh wow, an attractive girl who is into the same stuff I'm into. This is awesome. And I see where you're coming from with Olivia Munn too. It's like not the fake gamer girl thing, but it's like I kind of wish that Morgan Webb was back on the show because she just seems just as good. And
if they had someone who held that integrity, and that's on the producers for portraying her that way.
This is an attack on her. This is an attack on like they're looking at their target audience and like we needed a hot girl on a all dude channel.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And what I needed was the continuing representation of women on, gaming platforms.
Yeah.
That's my rant. And now my throat's sore and I'm sweating. God.
You're a true neckbeard.
You brought up Aaron Rodgers. I don't know.
Oh.
One or the other.
I'm still blown away by Kevin Pereira.
Yeah, I'll post that stuff. I promise.
I'll never forget that ever.
Put in your diary.
But it's interesting hearing like one thing I like about this show is I learn a lot about people. Like I never would have thought, like outside of B knew who G4 was, the TV channel. Like that's a show. I didn't go to my senior prom so me and my friends can go watch a show on G4 and then play Star Wars. That's how much G4 was a part of my life. I loved that show.
Well,
I love that channel.
I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah. Zenny Max Media or whatever.
Huh?
It got bought off by Zenny Max Media, and that's when they changed everything over.
What is it now?
I don't remember.
Wait, like went up from Tech TV to G4, or like it's something else now?
It went from Tech TV to G4, and then it became. I want to say it became like Paramount. It started playing only movies and cops. Which was a bummer.
Gosh, imagine if they had just held out a little bit longer. Like they would be smooth sailing right now with all the streaming stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Adam Susser went off to go join. He actually started like a streaming service. He had a channel for a while. The the guys that did like the repair show, the Tech Talk, Martin
Mm-hmm.
Leopold or whatever, they started their own like they were really into YouTube before like YouTube was a thing. So it's a shame they're not around anymore because they were like really revolution. They were like the beginning group of like podcasts. I think they were like one of the first like podcasters ever too, like back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So we got a little G4 rant. We got into a little bashing of Olivia Munn. This kind of relates to a little bit. What is a pet peeve of yours? What's your biggest one besides Olivia Munn?
Yeah, right. Uh, this might be too general, but I hate it when it's obvious that someone hasn't taken someone else's uh or life into account before they do something. Like when people just do something out of total blatant, like they clearly haven't thought about how it could hurt other people. That really pisses me off. Oh, but something that's less dramatic than that. I don't believe in saying bless you, and I don't believe in saying thank you when someone blesses me because I think it's superficial and I'm already trying to be super quiet when I'm sneezing. So I don't need you to point attention to my sneeze that I was just trying to be really quiet about. And frankly, if you bless me, it literally means nothing. So why would I be thanking you? So trigger. So like there's someone at work who, when he sneezes, he'll sneeze and he'll go, bless you, thank you. And I just want to like go over there and sort of, but love him so much. And then when I sneeze, he's like, bless you. And then he goes, thank you, like in a girl voice. And I was like, that sets me, that and Olivia Munn, those two things really set me off.
It really grinds your gears. Oh,
Grinds my gears.
But what if it's Olivia Munn saying bless you?
Oh, well then watch out.
Olivia Munn is in the hospital today after
be...
being attacked by Jenna.
Yeah, I just think I think what set me off is like when you're in college and you sneeze in a classroom. What the hell? Why are 5 people saying "bless you" out loud in the middle of a lecture?
It's just a social reflex at this point. I do it too.
I guess, but if we don't police ourselves, then what are we doing?
I also have like super violent sneezes. Like I think I'm gonna die when I do it. I'm like, ah, like I put my whole body into it. I'm like, so this is my usual sneeze routine. I do the oh god, because it's usually like my body's like collapsing. It's usually like
bless you for that,
just combusting like on the inside, like everything hurts. Or I do a couple in a row. I'm like on the ground crying.
Oh god,
yeah, they're real violent. My dad has these little like. Sneezes that he does, and I just do these like loud, violent, like full body heaves.
I would bless you if I heard that because that sounds horrific.
It's like my soul's stealing out of my heart. So yeah. I will never. If you ever sneeze, I will never say bless you. Don't worry about it.
You can do it. I don't care if you do it.
You just said you
but
do.
Like, just don't expect me to say thank you, and don't expect me to bless you because both of those things mean literally nothing. So.
My biggest pet peeve is the number 46. I just think it's a very ugly number.
Yeah?
Yeah, so when I turn 46, I'm going to be really mad for an entire year.
Wait, you think it's an ugly number?
Just the 4 goes up and the 6 goes to the right and there's a big loop at the bottom. Like it just visually to me as like an artist, I don't see anything appealing about the number 46. So whenever I see like a football player wearing that number, I'm like, just pick one number more or less, you jerk.
Much better about my pet peeve then.
I just don't. I also do not actually. You know what? My biggest pet peeve is people who don't put the carts back in grocery stores.
Oh yeah.
That's my. I yelled at a guy once because of it.
That's just a hazard.
Yeah, he just left it there. Like we could have walked over like 5 feet, put it away, and I walked it over. I'm like, oh man, my back hurts. Don't want you to put this over. This really hurts. And
so inconsiderate.
And he walked away.
That's right. You better walk away.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. These are more of like regarding getting a little bit of the weirder questions. What chocolate in an assorted box of chocolates best describes you?
Best describes me. I know what kind I like the most, but I guess let's go with just like chocolate straight through. Just solid chocolate because. What you see is what you get, a very surface level. I don't think I'm not an enigma in any sense. you know how you're always like, oh God, I got the toothpaste one by accident. You don't have to worry about that with me. I'm just pure chocolate.
Can I say that it's bullshit that they don't label what's in the chocolate? I know a lot of them have like little like guys at the bottom like check this one out. This one with the scribe is raspberry. I don't want to have to guess. I just want to know what's in there.
Well, that's how you know it's higher quality chocolate is if they have the guide in there for you.
I don't want I don't want any of this Palmer chocolate with all this I don't want coconut.
No,
I'm not a
no.
monster. Coconut's disgusting.
I'm pure chocolate.
I like having the white nougat inside because that represents me as a person because I'm brown on the outside, but I'm very basic on the inside.
Yummy. I do that.
How many puppies is enough puppies?
Oh, puppies?
Yep.
Like puppies? Like,
The
I
question
feel
just
like
says
puppies are
the question just says puppies. How many puppies is puppies?
puppies are a lot of work. I'm more of like a rescue, but it depends on what kind of puppy they are, but I'm gonna go with too many.
That's a very good Primus song too. Too many puppies.
Yeah. I would say I think
Bum, 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 bum.
three puppies is probably too many puppies because puppies are a lot of work.
I will admit I have never held a puppy before.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know, right? I see people laying in like groups of puppies, and I'm like, I bet that's great. I bet that's great for like the first 30 seconds, and I'd be too panicky, like suffocating in puppy dander.
I mean, I think you're overthinking it.
I also have a crippling fear of dogs.
Oh,
so,
I didn't know.
so so like I like dogs. I'm not like the biggest like good person. People anytime anyone mentions a dog, they like immediately freak out, like oh puppers, doggos, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's not me. I've been bitten by 3 dogs in my life.
Oh.
I've been bitten by a tiny dog, a Chihuahua. I've been bitten by a mid-sized dog, a Jack Russell Terrier, and I have been chased by a Rottweiler.
Oh.
And so I have a fear of dogs. And if you tell someone you don't like dogs, they think you're like this awful person. When I tell them like, oh, I'm more of a cat guy, and they're like, oh God, why? And I'm like, because my cat's never bit or chased me. I've been attacked by 3 dogs. True. Well, I could handle my cat doing it, but this was a strange dog. I was sitting there watching TV, and a Jack Russell Terrier just started attacking me. A little Chihuahua got me, and a Rottweiler chased me. That's going to lead someone to be afraid of dogs.
I understand. I definitely understand that.
If you give me the moment, because I think the thing with dogs is like they immediately jump on you, and that's their way of showing love. And to me, that's like I'm gonna die. But once I'm okay around the dog, I'm fine.
Cool.
But it's just because they jump on you right away. They're like, "This is how I love people." They jump on you and they're like really heavy, and that's just terrifying to me. But once I get used to it, I'm fine.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my little rant.
Well, that was good. I'm glad we got that out there.
I feel better. The whole internet hates me now because I said I'm afraid I don't like dogs.
We're all clipping it right now.
They're going to take this out of context, saying like Joe Brown Machismo hates dogs.
Yeah. You can't trust him. What else is he hiding?
I just got faked news.
Big time. It's coming.
So, speaking of puppies, did you get a chance to look at that 3-legged dog yet? You share the James yet?
Yeah, I did. The only downside is that we're looking for probably a girl dog, but
I thought the dog was a girl dog.
No, Crouton's the boy.
Oh, poor Crouton.
Think about him a lot because he's so cute.
Yeah.
I think we just have to, because the application process is just super, super extensive, and I think we might just end up going to a pound or something. I know it's going to be way too much for me, but we might just have to do that.
My local shelter, the Providence Animal Shelter, always does promotions where it's like $100 off of dogs. I didn't realize they were so expensive to adopt.
Yeah, they can be. So, I mean, but beyond, I'm willing to pay, to support a good rescue. But, some of the application processes are just like crazy. Like 2 home visits, 3 recommendations, like a phone interview, and there's a lot of stuff.
You have a question from the audience, from the Pun Hit Wonder himself. On a scale of 1 to Nova, how hunky is James?
That's a tough one. I think he's the hunkiest, so
We all agree. Hi, James.
he can't. I don't think he's listening. He's in the other. He just got home. He's in the other room, I think, playing games.
Okay. You actually have a James question. Is what was your first date with James?
So James and I met on OkCupid.
Hmm.
I was only on OkCupid for like 20, maybe 2 days because I was talking to him.
Hmm.
I wasn't like looking. I was just trying to get guys to send me pictures of their dog, which worked really well on Tinder. So I
Yeah,
only went on one date, and it was
I've
with
seen
him.
that, and it's always like, I they usually just say like I swiped for your dog, so I know
Yeah,
that's very true.
it's 100% true. Um, he was in Northern Virginia, and I was at the University of Maryland at the time. So we met in DC, and the plan was to go to like a hookah bar, which I had never been exposed to hookah before, but he's like a big hookah smoker.
So you guys were trying to hookah up?
Just gonna sit there. But then the hookah bar was too full, so we just went to like a regular bar. And yeah, we just have been dating ever since.
Wow.
Dating to this day. It's not like a super, you like just, meet in person and then, well, I guess I will say he, like, I got out of the car and within 2 seconds, he like kissed me immediately. Like that was like, I had just met him.
Wow.
So that was a bold strategy that shouldn't have paid off, but it did.
Risky res.
He didn't kiss me again until the end of the date, which was a mind game, but it's okay.
Thank you, Suspiria. He got my pun. The one that you just kind of flew right
Hookah
by.
it up.
Hookah up. Yeah.
I got it. I got
I
it.
know you.
We
Pun
didn't do
says
that.
hookah. I hardly know you.
Didn't now I get it. And
Mm.
we did not hookah
Oh, what a bummer.
date.
Um. Hmm. Looking through the list here, we got. I think I got everything. There's a couple in
It's
there that are.
been a lot.
What's your? We've been going for like an hour and 22, so we're close to the wrapping up period. But I have a
I'm
couple
starting to get
more.
tired, honestly. I'm such an old lady.
All right, so okay, so I'll ask you two more, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah,
Sounds
that's
good.
okay with you, because you can always come back
Yeah.
on. And everyone's. I haven't had a repeat guest yet, so I'm always welcome some people back on. All right. What's your favorite beer?
Mm. I like Vienna Lager by Devil's Backbone. I think my favorite beer though is Optimal Wit by Port City Brewing here in Alexandria, Virginia. It's in Virginia.
Mhm.
And it's like a Hefeweizen, but it's got an insane amount of alcohol in it. I love Hefeweizen. So Port City, Optimal Wit, or anything by Port City, I really, really like.
Okay. So one of Pun's ever had any of those because he does his little beer reviews.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a question that I always ask everybody, and this actually was asked in the pool of questions. So your gamer tag that I know you as is Yanasty, but you also have Jennarad. What are the origins of your gamer tag?
Jennarad, just I went through like we all did a like quasi emo phase, but like not really emo because my mom or scene because my mom wouldn't let me dye my hair black. But
Were you a goth
you
kid?
know, not goth at all, but I tried to be like scene, I guess, but I
Oh
couldn't do
wow,
anything to
really?
my mom wouldn't let me do anything to my hair. So that's like the whole battle, right, with
Mm-hmm.
being a scene kid. So it didn't work out.
Wow, I never thought you'd
But
be a scene kid.
dreamed of being a scene kid, but I was just fake, I just like bands that ended in prepositions, that kind of thing. So, it's just like that horrible like XD roar culture where the rad came from, Jenna
Mm.
Rad, because whatever, it's just
Rar
stupid.
means I love you and dinosaur.
It's like hot topic, awful stuff like that. You nasty, that's like the gamer tag I've had since I bought my 360. So I think my sister came up with it. I remember her. I assume she got it from That's So Raven. I don't know if that's where she got it from, but I just remember her like bouncing it off me, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I just liked the way it sounded, which sounds really silly, and but at least my name isn't like Lax Girl 452, which is probably what it would have been if
Uh-huh.
like an idiot.
I always thought it was great, but you're one of the few people on the Discord that no one says nasty. They always just say Jenna.
Yeah, I know. And at first I was like, guys, stop. But then I was like, no, it's kind of cute, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
everyone, like even the new people know my name,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird. But I accept it.
Okay. Well, I've always fluctuated between saying your tag and Jenna because I just Jenna. It's an easy word to say. Your nasty takes a little effort, but if whoever wants to call you nasty, just let me know.
Nasty's totally fine. I do appreciate how Nova commits to always using nasty. I think that's very professional of him. But I've gotten beyond the point of, acting like my name is some big secret. So
Yeah.
don't
I
mind.
go out of my way to be like, you guys can call me Joe if you want. Only Allie
Yeah,
seems to
but
be the only one who does it. But Brown fits, I guess, better.
exactly. Do you want to be called Joe?
That doesn't matter to me. It's fine. I've been called
I just feel
worse.
like I've already, you know,
Pun says he can't
can I
call
call you
you
Brown?
Jenna, honestly.
Look, I mean, that's fine.
Mhm.
I just, I think it's really cute that people use my name. I think that makes me feel good about myself, like I've contributed.
You've actually
But
you've actually contributed to. You have your own little catchphrase now. I'm actually looking at your Discord picture, and it actually relates to our final question, and we're going to call it a day after this one. But why is it so important to emote on point?
I knew you were going to ask this question. I was thinking about it in the shower before I sat down. It's because it's like it's the most insulting thing you can do without being like repulsively much. Like there, you can like teabag people, or you can say hello or thank you after you kill someone, but those are all like super catty, right?
Mhm.
But emoting on point just shows like, oh, we so won, and you're so far from point that I had time to pick out an emo and complete it in the amount of time we won, kind of thing. So it's like being a show off, but not teabagging
You're
and
you're
starting
you're
a
being a
battle.
douche, but not much of a douche.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still like to do my voice lines. Like I'm always like, the doctor is here a lot, and I always use "you're welcome" when I'm playing Mercy and someone says thank you. But point is just like a sassy way to be like, we won. It's all good.
Suck it,
Plus, it looks
nerds.
really cool. Yeah, there you go, just like that. Yeah.
So you've just emoted on point, and we have just achieved the victory screen. I want to
Transition.
thank you for coming onto the award-winning National Treasure Brown Machismo show. This has been a great episode. I've learned a lot about you. I found out you have a weird obsession with Kevin Pereira. You wanted to be a scene kid. You want to beat up Olivia Munn, and you hate when people sneeze and say big shit. So
Hey.
I learned a lot today.
Oh, well, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, this has been great. I'm going to let you go, and I will wrap things up. So anything you want to plug or comment about before you go?
Smash that like button. But I just want to thank everyone in the Discord for always being upfront. And I feel like we've made a really great community in Overwatch Syndicate. We all rallied together and created something really beautiful in kind of a state of chaos. And I think that's a testament to each and every person in the Discord. And I trust every single one of you, even though I've only met two of you. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for being such good friends, internet and otherwise. I appreciate it.
Any voice lines you want to do before you go?
Mm, the doctor is in.
And with that, the doctor is out. Thank you, Jenna.
Bye.
All right, there we go. That was Jenna, you nasty Jennarad, fake scene kid, Olivia Munn hater. What a great episode, folks. I really enjoyed our time here tonight. But it is been going on for about, what are we at now? Like an hour 30-ish? Wow, exactly an hour 30. So I'm going to hit that that outro music. And I want to thank everyone who checked in. This has been a great episode. We'll have another guest next week. We're changing the format up a little bit. We're going to go on Wednesdays now. I want to send out a little sheet if anybody ever wants to be on it again. So this has been great. So, just be good people, and I'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, folks.